Giannis won the All-Star Game MVP by going 16 out of 16 from the field, and later in the post-game interview, he celebrated like LeBron James.
Milwaukee, this is for you!
Cleveland! This is for you! Oh!
Let me show you a few more interesting moments from the All-Star Game that you may have missed. What up everybody, my name is Stefan and this is Heat Check. Let's get into it. After winning the 3-point shootout with the last shot, Steph Curry continued his lights-out shooting in the actual game as well. And for those of you that missed it, Steph did his signature look away with the ball still in the air, a classic that never gets old. And on the topic of shooting, of course you saw the wild half-court barrage that him and Damian Lillard had. And Dame of course ended the game that way with a shot from the logo. The most interesting thing for me here is that Curry already knew what was about to happen as soon as Lillard got the ball. So he started waving goodbye, announcing that the game is over. And of course it was over at that same moment. So after all those long-range shots by Portland's superstar, Paul George finally admitted in the post-game interview that the Blazers vs Thunder playoff 3 is actually not a bad shot. You all remember this, right?
Paul, is there anything a defender can do? 37-foot three-pointers. When you defended it about as well as you can, at some point you got to let a guy shoot that, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, that's a bad shot. Care what anybody says, that's a bad shot.
Well, here's PG admitting that he was wrong.
Well, I guess I was criticized for the right reason for calling Dame's shot in the playoffs a bad shot. I mean, I see these guys' range is crazy. I can't see myself shooting those.
Did you say that's no longer a bad shot?
It's a great shot. 2 thumbs up.
By the way, did you know that this is the first official basketball game that Steph and LeBron have been on the same team? They haven't played together in the All-Star Game, nor have they been on the same Team USA roster. So it was great to see moments like these.
I ain't been this close to this ever!
As we got a glimpse of what could have been if these two played together on the same roster. This is literally a cheat code. The mutual respect and appreciation continued after the game on Twitter, as you can see with LeBron leading the way and Curry responding. My favorite thing from the entire All-Star is probably seeing how much fun Nikola Jokic had and how much he enjoyed being out there. Like, look at him, he is acting crazy after the simplest bucket ever. Then check out his reaction on the Giannis 3. Hilarious. And these two definitely had great chemistry, as we see Nikola teaching Giannis some dancing moves on the bench. And at the end, Antetokounmpo borrowed the MVP trophy to Jokic so that he can feel like he won it. Man, this is so funny seeing that big of a dude acting with pure joy like a little kid. In the post-game, he joked about being snubbed from the All-Star Game MVP for the 2nd consecutive year.
I just saw a video of Giannis handing off the MVP trophy to you after he got awarded it. Did you give it back, or what's the status of that trophy right now?
I mean, it's 2nd year they're stalling it for me, so I mean, one probably is, I mean, I don't know why they're snubbing me into second year in a row, so.
This dude is one of the funniest characters in the league. To top things off, he wore a mismatch colored sneakers in the game. And for those of you that haven't seen his logo, check it out. I think it's pretty cool design. The Joker hat with the initials and the number. Good job, Nike. Did you see this? Jaylen Brown tried to pass it to himself and dunk it off the backboard. This was paying homage to Tracy McGrady, who famously did it first, and Brown even had the same shoes that T-Mac was rocking back then. So it was a shame that he wasn't able to finish it properly. And you all saw these back-to-back alley-oops between Steph and CP3. They almost never dunk in-game, and that is especially true for Chris Paul. So with his first dunk of the season, he surpassed Blake Griffin, who hasn't dunked in more than a year. Now that's a mind-blowing fact in itself. Speaking of Blake Griffin, however, I know that he wasn't in the game itself, but the news about his move to the Brooklyn Nets happened yesterday, so some of you may have missed it. Yeah, as if they weren't stacked enough, now Blake comes in as extra firepower, and according to Woj, the Nets plan to utilize him as a small ball center with the 2nd unit. While talking about Brooklyn, here's how his new teammate Kyrie Irving came to the game. We've seen him arriving at games like this a few times already, so this is nothing new, but just wanted to mention it as a part of the things that you guys may have missed from the All-Star. And at the end, I do like to point out that even though the dunk contest was a bit disappointing, we did see one dunk that we haven't seen before. And that was this slam from Obi Toppin, which in my opinion received a way lower score than it should have. People who follow the league closely probably saw Zach LaVine do this during a pregame warm-up, but technically this hasn't been done in a dunk contest. And I also want to comment on the winning dunk by Anthony Simons. Even though the execution wasn't the greatest, I love the idea, and this is something that Dwight Howard was practicing before one of his dunk contests a few years ago. But as you can see, he also couldn't do it, although he was close as well. So he ended up not trying it in the actual contest. So yeah, all in all, it was fun to take a break from the grind of the season, and LeBron definitely did that as he played the least minutes out of any player in the game. The players and teams will have an additional 2 days off, and the NBA returns on Wednesday with 2 games, as things will slowly start to heat up in the second half of the season in the race for the playoffs. Hopefully you found something interesting in this video that you may have missed during the game. That's it for now. Subscribe and talk to you in the next one. Peace out. Steph Curry with the shot, boy!